Hello YouTubers, so today I will be showing you guys how to do the 90-degree haircut for the State Board Practical exam. So let's go over the things that you'll need to use while doing the haircut. You can bring clips if you wish, but I didn't use any clips. But yeah, you can bring clips if you would like to for your convenience. Make sure you bring more than one shear to do your haircut, and make sure your scissors are sharp and not dull. Go purchase you some shears if you need to. They have them at the beauty supply store. They even have them in dollar stores. They don't have to be, costing, a lot of money. You can get some for as cheap as $5. Bring several all-purpose combs and have your bottle of water, your spray bottle with water in it, and your paddle brush if you want to comb out any tangles in your doll head. So what's going to happen at State Board is they're going to tell you everything you need to know when it comes to doing the haircut. They're going to say you can cut your doll head no shorter than 3 inches, but you have to at least take off 1 inch of hair from the doll head. So when you bring your doll head to State Board, don't bring your doll head with 3 inches. Don't bring it with 4 inches. Have at least 5 inches of hair on your doll head. You can bring it at 4 if you want to, at your own risk. But have a decent amount of hair on the doll head, so just in case you mess up, you can always, go back and fix it and still have enough hair on the doll head. So let's get into this haircut that I'm going to be teaching you guys. And this haircut is 40 minutes long, I believe. And the way that I'm going to show you is going to take less than 40 minutes. It'll take you probably 10 minutes to do. And you'll have plenty of time to cross-check probably 4 or 5 times. You wouldn't believe it. The haircut is probably 30 or 40 minutes, I forgot, but 1 or 2. Okay. And you're also going to need to bring a towel. Any kind of towel. To clean up your space or whatever. They're going to have broom and dustpan down there for you to use. They even have stands down there for you to use, but bring your own stand if you have one. So what you're going to do first is completely saturate your doll head with water. Then you'll detangle the hair if needed. Now, the first step in this haircut is you need to make a little section in the middle of the head. Do a little mohawk, about 4 to 5 inches long and 1 inch wide, or 1.5 inches wide. So that's what I'm doing right now. So from the forehead to where the head starts to curve, that's where you're going to stop. Okay, so you sectioned off your mohawk. This mohawk is going to be the guide for cutting all the rest of your hair. Okay, so this is what your section should look like. just like that. And you want to make sure that whenever you feel like your doll head is damp and it's not wet enough, go ahead and respray your doll head with the water. Okay, so from here you're going to measure how short you want your doll head to be. So get your shears, and always remember to palm your shears and never put down your comb. So when it comes to cutting, with your hands in the right direction and the comb in the right direction, I'm going to go over that right quick before I get started. Okay, so the head curve right here, the head is curving a little bit. So in order for you to cut the hair right, you need to have your fingers at the right position. So what you're going to do is, to make sure that you're cutting your hair right, you're going to put your fingers at the base of the head. You're going to put it at the scalp. And you're going to go up at the same angle your fingers were at. And you want to make sure your comb and your fingers are going at a 90-degree angle. Straight, just like so. Don't have your comb tilting over. Don't have your fingers going inward like this. So I hope you understand that. Let me repeat it again. Let me do some examples. So let's say you're right here. Don't just pick up the hair and try to cut it like that. To make sure that you're cutting your hair right, put your fingers at the scalp and run your fingers up the hair very tightly. Hold the hair very firm in your fingers and have your fingers straight and your comb straight at the right angle, like so. Okay? So remember, always have your comb straight, don't have it tilting. Always have your fingers straight, don't have it going whatever way or whatever. Now I'm just teaching you from what I've learned. Okay, so let's move on from that and let's go to the next step. So first thing we're going to do is measure out how much hair we want to be cut. Remember, get your fingers at the scalp and work your way up with your fingers at a straight angle and your comb at a straight angle. It's parallel to the scalp. Your fingers are parallel to the scalp. So let's wet the doll head. I feel like the doll head is damp. Let's wet the doll head. Because if some of your doll head is wet and some of it is dry, you're going to have an uneven haircut. You want to make sure all of your hair is completely saturated. So here we go again. How much hair do you want to take off? You can measure. Your comb should have like inches on there. You can measure how long your hair is and how short you want it to be. My hair is 4 inches and some, so I'm going to take off hair, not that much. So get your fingers right there at the base and let your comb follow your fingers and have it at a straight angle, and we're going to cut that little bit off. Make sure when you cut that you cut all of that hair. You dig into your fingers and don't cut yourself. Like when it's past when it past this knuckle, don't cut. You just put down some hair and put down some hair and continue cutting if you have to. Okay, moving along. Take some of this hair with you. So we're taking 10% from what you already cut and picking up 90% of what you need to cut. Remember, put your fingers at the base of the scalp. Put your fingers at the base of the scalp and have your fingers in your comb straight like so. Don't have your comb tilting this way or tilting that way. Have it straight, parallel with your fingers in your scalp. And hold the hair very firmly in your fingers. Squeeze it very tightly as you run the comb up. Find your guide. When you see your guide go into the comb, that's when you stop. And that's when you cut the rest of the hair. I'm going to try to get a little bit closer for you guys. Okay, hair is getting damp again with the hair. So what we're doing, we're finna go on and cut the rest of this mohawk. Take 10% of what you already cut and pick up 90% of what you need to cut. You can see that. Okay. So, and when you don't have to comb the hair a lot. I'm just doing that right now. But, just comb the hair once, twice, and done. You're done. You don't need to do it anymore. But let's go ahead and cut this section. See how my fingers and my comb is parallel to the scalp? So now I am moving my comb up until my guide. You see my guide? That short part on the end of the comb right there? When my guide disappears in the comb, that's when I'm going to cut. So I'm going to cut all of that hair off right there. Okay, continue. You know how to do this now. You know what to do next. Okay, so now we're going to split this mohawk in half. So you can have your guide going all the way around the head to help you cut your hair an even layer cut. So split that in half. Okay. And just let it fall down naturally. And make sure that it get all the way, that all the hair gets spreaded all the way around. Okay, your next step is to do a little pie on this side. You're going to do a pie on both sides, but we're working from the left to the right. But you can work from the right to the left if you want to. But just letting you know, we're going to start off right here and go all the way around and end up right here. So I'm going to cut off a pie right here, and then from there on I'm just going to cut off little sections to do my 90-degree cut all the way around. And then when I end up right here, I'm going to do my other pie. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys how to cross-check. Okay. So this is my pie right here. I'm going to create my little pie. Don't let it be too big or whatever. This is a good enough size. Okay, and always cut from, you don't want to be cutting this from over there or in front or standing in front of this and cutting it. You want to be on the side right here. So get your hair. Make sure you have all of the hair. And when you see your guide, stop in the comb. You probably didn't see it, so let me do it again. Okay. Comb and fingers are parallel to the scalp. You see my guide right there, and it's disappearing in the comb. So I'm finna cut this. Dig deep down in there as far as you can go cutting that hair. And make sure you have a lot of tension when you're holding the hair. Okay. Now we're going to go on to the next section. So after you do this section, after I do this section with you, I'm going to stop recording. Well, I'm not going to stop recording. I'm going to show you how to cross-check, but this should be good enough information for you. So you want to, when you're cutting, you don't want to do too big of a section. So this size is good right here. And you want to start from the top and work your way down to the bottom. So we're going to get a section right here and cut it. Okay, you want to be behind the haircut, not in front. Fingers and comb parallel to the scalp, looking for that guide to disappear in the comb, and boom, there it goes. Gonna cut all that hair off right there. And now I'm just gonna go through, just cut it without even saying anything until I feel like I need to say something. Get 10%, drop the rest, and pick up 90% of what you need to cut. Now the sides in the back of the head is the hardest part. I had problems with. That was the what I had problems with the most. And so I'm gonna show you guys how to, not have those problems. Very important to have some sharp scissors, because these are not sharp at all. So when you finish with that, 10%. Okay, so on the side, this is where I was having trouble with. This is where I was having my most problems with. When you do the side, make sure your elbow is, let me do it and show you guys. Make sure your elbow, this arm elbow is straight up in the air. Okay? and that your fingers and your comb is parallel to the scalp, and let your guide disappear in the comb, and that's where you start to cut it. You make sure you have great tension. So make sure that elbow, that dominant elbow, is up straight in the air to help you cut your hair right. Because it can be tiresome. So make sure your comb, your fingers is parallel to the scalp, and let you see where the short end of the hair is at, right here. This is about to disappear in the comb, and when it disappears in the comb, that's when you need to cut. And make sure you have great tension. Make sure don't pass this knuckle. If you need to pass this knuckle, that means you need to drop some hair. You need to take away some hair and finish your cut like so. Palm your comb, palm your scissors. And so you're just going to do that all over the head. And now whenever you feel like you may be not cutting your hair right, just go back to a previous cut section. Pick up some hair from the previous section and, bring it with the hair that you're finna cut to make sure that you're cutting the right amount and that you're not, that the hair is getting longer or if the hair is getting shorter. Just whenever you feel like you're unsure of yourself, just get some hair from the previous section or find some hair from your guide and gather it with the hair that you're finna cut. Now I'm finna show you guys how to do your cross check. I'm finna show you guys how to check your haircut. And I hope this video helps you a lot, because what I'm telling you guys right now is all the information that I needed to pass my haircut test. And when it comes to the back of the head, when you're cutting the back of the head, make sure you lean the doll head back and that your elbow is up in the air. Is just like when you was on the side over here, you want to make sure you have your elbow up in the air and that your comb and your finger is parallel to the scalp. You don't want your comb to be tilting, or you don't want your fingers to be tilting, because that will really mess with the length that you cut off. The hair may be too long or maybe too short, stuff like that. So when you cut back here, make sure, let me turn the doll head, make sure the doll head is leaning down as far as it can go. Pick up your section, make sure your fingers and your comb is parallel to the scalp, and just pull the comb through, and that you'll be good to go. So this is what I need to cut. Okay, so to check your doll head, you're going to start from the from where you ended. So since I started right here and I ended right here, I'm going to start my haircut, my cross check right here. We're doing the opposite of what we first did it. So since we started from right here and worked our way down on this side, we're going to start checking our haircut right here, working our way down. Starting at the bottom and working our way up. So let's see. And with the cross checking, you can use bigger sections, and make sure that your doll head is wet. And when you are ready for when you're down at state board and you're ready for your haircut to get checked, make sure that you saturate the doll head so they won't see any uneven lengths. So to check your doll head, you're going to get a big section like this. And I'm just going to show you one section of how to check it. You know, you're a pro now. You can do this. You can pass this test. Just all you have to do is believe and do what I tell you. Okay, so you're just going to take some of this hair. Now with the cross-checking, when you're checking your haircut, you're not doing a haircut. You're just nipping off the ends that you missed. This is perfecting your haircut. Okay, so you get a section like this. Okay, so you're going to see if it's all even or not. So make sure your comb and your fingers are parallel to the scalp. Okay, so look like I have some stuff to nip off that I missed. So that's what I'm going to nip off. Now you shouldn't have a lot to nip off, but if you do, that's fine. But this is nothing major. So keep moving along. Make sure your fingers are parallel and your comb is parallel. Okay, so I messed up right there. Okay, this is a little too long, but this is good. So that's how you check it. Remember, check from the bottom to the top. And make sure your comb and your fingers are parallel. I'll check this with you one more time. Make sure your elbow is up. And you're going to use the same technique to do your actual haircut. See? So the faster you do your haircut, the more time you'll have to perfect your haircut. So I hope all this information really helped you guys out and that you passed your haircut test. Thanks to me. So I hope I shared with you guys everything that I learned. Remember, I cannot stress enough to make sure your fingers and your comb is parallel to the scalp. If the scalp is, slanting, make sure your fingers and your comb are slanting at that same angle. And make sure when you're cutting on the sides and at the nape area, make sure you have your dominant arm going straight up. And make sure your comb and your fingers are parallel to the scalp so you can get an even cut. So talk to you guys later. Be very confident. I don't want you to go up there and take your test if you're not feeling confident. Because if you're not feeling confident, you're more than likely to fail. And if you know that you didn't do a good job, you know you failed. And so watch this video over and over again. I know I didn't go throughout the whole entire head with you guys, but I did do examples, and I feel like I explained it enough. Like I told you guys everything that I was having problem with before I took my second haircut test, which I passed. So if you need any more further help than this, make sure you go back to your school, go to a teacher, and ask them to help you with your haircut so they can find out what you're doing wrong and what you need to do. And, keep practicing. You'll get it. Pray, believe, and you will pass this test. I am a witness to it. I prayed about it, and then I asked my teacher to help me. He really taught me how to do this haircut like nobody else could. And I believe he really did a great job explaining it to me. And so that's how I passed the test. By listening and doing what he told me to do. And that's that. So talk to you guys later. Let me know if this worked out for you.